All right. Hopefully you enjoyed those two videos. And we'll see how far we can get. Obviously, for our guest teacher, if this is starting to run long, like if you took a little bit of time with attendance and you took a little time with our iconic figure of the day, and if the videos have taken you a little bit longer, I've tried to time this, and I'm right at about 30-35 minutes on my watch, but maybe the videos took you a little bit longer. Maybe there are students that had questions. Again, whatever you get through at this point is great, and I will finish with whatever is left tomorrow. So our next institution that you should roll with is the African American Church. And there are bunches of different denominations of churches, but one of the main ones is the AME, and that's one of the oldest churches, black churches in the nation. Founded in 1816, it was a huge institution in African American life during slavery, during free communities of color in the North, and in places where in the South that was allowed. But there's a bunch of other churches that grow out of this time period as well, kind of modeled in the AME's style. If you go to the South today, you're going to see tons of different denominations of black churches. You're going to see Baptist churches. You're going to see Methodist churches. You're going to see all sorts of different types of churches, right? But the main idea here is that church populations really grow during the Jim Crow era, during segregation. It's one of the places where African Americans can gather in community, and where, even though it's still segregated, nobody's, one of the, Martin Luther King said one of the most segregated times of the week was high noon on Sunday. White people did not go to black churches, and black people did not go to white churches. That just wasn't done in most of the nation. But these are safe spaces. Obviously worship, obviously self-expression. Many musicians come out of the black church, even in today's world, right? Like one of the most famous musicians off the top of my head, because my daughter is a huge fan, was Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston grew up in the black church, right? The black church experience, singing in the choirs you're going to see here, and learning what that self-expression was like in a place that was safe and comfortable around other people who believed and thought and like her. And so this was a place where most African Americans could go, which is why you'll find, the older generations of African Americans in the United States are well churched. They are people that grew up in the church. It was a safe spot for many of these people. Publicizing local businesses, finding ways to organize politically and push for voting rights, as you're going to see here later in Unit 4, as people start to, the Martin Luther Kings of the world, organizing through churches. And when you get down here to the civil rights leaders of the 50s and 60s, right, those people are essentially, the early ones are an extension of and again, when I use the term the black church, I'm using all of the different iterations of the black church. The African Methodist Episcopal Church is one of them. The Baptist churches of the South are another one of them. There are a bunch of them, but as a whole, right, religious organizations centered around Christianity are a huge part of African American life, in a way in which African Americans can feel a sense of safety in a place like that. So as you're finishing your notes here, here's, again, if you've never set foot in a black church, it is quite a different experience than a Protestant white church or a Catholic church, for that matter, with most of those things having, fairly set traditions, a little bit quieter. And so here you go. This is a little bit of I'm going to fast forward a little bit so you can kind of see the energy that pulses through an AME church.
Praise the Lord, everybody. I said, praise the Lord, everybody. Is there anybody that's glad to be in the house of the Lord tonight? Come on, put those hands together. Come on, clap them like you're
And that goes on for another 4 minutes. And you probably even heard there just right the call and response that we learned about earlier in Unit 2. So again, African American churches, huge influence in pushing for the rights and respect of the African American community. And our last group are African American businesses. And in this case, we're going to highlight Madam C.J. Walker, who you hopefully learned a little bit about earlier in the period today. She's the first woman millionaire in the United States. She is a beauty and hair product inventor. She lost her hair and needed a tonic and needed a thing to kind of regrow hair. And so she sets up her factory in Indianapolis, kind of a border state, Indianapolis and Indiana, technically the north, but still close enough to the south, the central Midwest there. She later moves to Harlem, New York, which is where things are happening. Once she starts making massive amounts of money, she's also starts by going door to door, but you can see in her advertisement here, she's advertising for people to come work for her. This is a convention that she held in 1924, and most of those are women. People that came to work for her and gave women an opportunity to be a part of the business world. And she uses business, let me go back there, sorry. She uses business as a way to find a way to lift up the rest of her community. She can't do it for everybody, but she finds a way to lift up those around her and be a benefit to the African American community. And again, she's just one example. Those newspaper owners that we talked about earlier, the Robert Abbotts who started the Chicago Defender. There are tons of businesses like that where small businesses to large businesses, giving African Americans a role and giving African Americans a place to work. They are happening in northern cities. They are giving jobs to people. She actually is a large advocate, like with I.W. Wells, of anti-lynching and an early promoter of the YMCA, which did originally start as an organization to help people in the lower class. It's not just a gym like we think of it today, but the YMCA as an organization started as a way to kind of help out socially, very similar to the way that the Salvation Army starts out early on. So black businesses, African American businesses are a huge way of promoting African American culture and society and really promoting let's get back to our title here, the uplift of the African American community. At this point, depending on time availability, if you want to move on to the next slide, there is a trailer for a Netflix show that came out a couple years ago now about Madam C.J. Walker. If you've never seen it, it's a limited release. It has, I think, 4 or 5 episodes in it. If you'd like to show the trailer, if you have time, please do so for our guest teacher. And I will come back on Friday and we will talk about HBCUs. I think at this point you are probably really close to the time of ending class today. So thank you for your attention today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed those videos. And we are done with our notes for the day.